Hi, Adam Hires here with the third episode of Hires, Coaching, Lifting, Old School Hulk Training Systems. Listen, this right here, I'm going to unpack what it took me to be number one ranked in powerlifting. So I'm going to take you through a lot of these series of what I did, how I set my days up, etc. Today is going to be what is going to help your squat and deadlift in a heavy fashion. So this is going to be, you have one day is a heavier day, which that's going to be on your squat and deadlift. That's what we're going to start today. I'm kind of getting back into some squats a little bit more, just not going to go quite as heavy as normal. So we're going to, in this series, we're just going to ramp it up as we go. So that's good. Sometimes you want to start in, and just start ramping it up in your cycle. So it depends on where you're at. You may want to ramp up your cycle. Today, I am going to be doing some box squats to start off with, and it's a little closer stance than what I normally do. That's going to work a little more of my quads, and I'm going to just take you through a few things there. So listen, it's all where you are in the cycle, and we talked about it last time, no choice. Camera crew's here. I got no choice but to perform in front of you. Get out there, get after it. You have to work hard every day. If you're in Kentucky, June 1st, we're filming this on June 1st, the gyms are open. There is no choice but to go back in and crush it, get stronger, get faster, get leaner, and get your business rolling. So this is what this is. Feed into your business and feed into your life. Make you the best version of yourself. All right. Start off the box squat. I got an Elite FTS box here, Elite Fitness, EliteFTS.com. This is excellent. You notice today I got the Rock shoes on still. The Rock, he's awesome. A lot of times I'll wear a flat-soled shoes like I did in my powerlifting, my first video, for anything powerlifting related like squat and deadlift. Today I'm not doing that because I'm gonna hit the quads a little bit more. I'm okay with it kind of pushing me forward just a slight bit. So I'm gonna wear these shoes and just go with it. So when I'm trying to really max effort and try to push it, a lot of times I'll have flat soled shoes to really maybe sit back, especially when I do my wide stance squats, because I sit back, that is my squat. Listen, everybody has a different technique in squats. A lot of times you'll see it and say, okay, this is the way you squat. The way you squat is how you get up the most weight, okay? So there's a lot of different ways you can squat, and listen, you just got to get under there. You got to work at, just go at what works for you. Everybody has different leverages. For me, I can't really narrow squat, or it just really pitches me forward too bad and gets me out of position, and you don't want that. So mine today is wider than a lot of people will go when they're at their widest. Me, this is not as wide as I normally go. I'm gonna hit a little more quads, and really I'm okay, like I said, with pitching it forward. Today I have the safety squat bar, the SS yoke bar. Again, you can get this at EliteFTS.com. This is an excellent bar. It's a 65-pound bar. I use this a ton because for me, I have a really bad, I talked about it before, I have a really bad injury, and right here that just, man, it bugs me. So going behind a straight bar will really bug me, where I tore my tricep. For years it bugged me and hurt my squat. I started using a safety squat bar more, and I was able to push up my squat. This bar is excellent to use if you're, even if you're competing, you just want to go ahead and use this a lot, and then you can go back to the straight bar. If you're not competing, you can use this almost exclusively, and just really, it helps with the spinal erectors a lot. It pushes you forward, and that really is going to make your back stronger for deadlift as well. So I love this bar. Let's get after it. As you go up and weight, put the belt on. I start putting it on loose at this point, but that's a good, you can see the thickness of that belt, really good to to help with your overall back, or excuse me, your overall health on your back. So definitely want to make sure you get a good belt as you go up in weight. So today I'm squatting mostly more straight down than I normally would. That's okay. Just get some reps in, a few reps. I'm not going to go really heavy. This is 335 with 3 reps. You know, I've done with this bar down to a 10-inch box. This is a higher box I'm using today to get back into it and make sure that I'm not ramping up too early. But a 10-inch box is way down there. I've done over 700 pounds on that before, and it's getting down there. It's putting your butt on the ground. So we're not gonna go that nasty today, and I can't go that nasty right this second. But we're gonna ramp it up as we go. One key thing that you'll see me doing is when I get under the bar, I'll do this number right here, and what that's doing is getting my chest up a little higher, putting me in position. So the worst thing most people fail on, especially this bar, this safety bar, will pitch you forward. So as soon as your chest caves in, people will come out of the hole and they'll pitch forward. There's a couple reasons for that. One, upper back tightness. So especially with a regular bar, you have to really become tight. But a lot of times it's on the setup as well, to where people will get it and they're already kind of forward. And so when they come out, they have nowhere else to go. All their weight goes on their toes, and then they pitch it forward and they fail to lift. So what you want to do is, on this bar or any bar, you want to get up on there, you want to kind of shoot your chest out and keep a little higher. Even if, doesn't matter what way you squat, you're still going to have to keep your chest up as much as you can. So some people are more rounded over when they squat, but sometimes it's that little bit of 1 inch to where they're not quite as back where they should be, and they pitch forward. So whatever position that you're squatting in, you're always gonna have to understand where you are on the unrack and not pitch forward, because that's gonna miss a lift big time. Nice and smooth. Listen, this day is, you can go 1 to 3, 5. You can, it's a little heavier day. Depends again where you're at in the cycle, what you're trying to do. If you're a woman out there, say, hey, I don't want to gain a lot of mass. You're a guy out there, hey, I don't want to gain all this muscle. Listen, squats, you can go heavier and not gain a ton of muscle. And actually, it's more dense muscle that you're getting, which on something like this, 1 rep, 3 rep, 5 reps sometimes, most of it's in your diet, how big you're gonna get. But this can get you a lot of strength and not put on a lot of muscle mass if you don't go high reps. So that's actually one of those things you can do. So if you're a strength athlete just trying to get stronger, or hey, I just wanna get leaner, this can pack on that dense muscle that's underlying, and you're not bulking up in this huge way. So that is a big misnomer. Don't allow people to tell you that you can't squat if you're a woman or whatever and go a little heavier weights. That will actually help that dense muscle and help you get as lean as you can, look as good as you want to. And it has I like to train, first of all, let's just go backwards. I love to train like an athlete would train. I'm not a bodybuilder. I've never loved bodybuilding, because I respect bodybuilders a ton for what they do. For me, I was always, hey, listen, I would rather look stronger than I actually am, not vice versa. And I want to be athletic. So I'll put on bulk and I'll be big, but anybody see me still hit the heavy bag, I can still move. I always wanted to be able to move and really, be an athlete. So you could do this program that I'm doing and still remain really athletic and more athletic as you get stronger. Nice easy rep. Just kind of go down, come right back up. Again, if I was squatting, if you can kind of come down here, when I'm squatting in regular, I'm actually squatting for a real big weight. And when I'm squatting, I will actually, without a box or anything, I will sit back and I'll go wide and I'll come right back into squat using a lot of hamstrings. Today, as you'll notice, I'm just kind of come down. I'm letting my knees go forward just a slight bit because I'm letting them pitch forward, and that's okay today. So this is not to move max amount of weight. It's kind of just put a little stress there, you know, get a little weight, nothing big, and you know, get out of the day. All right, we're going to the next exercise that I think is hugely beneficial. Remember, today is things that help your squat and deadlift. So that is the main purpose of this day. This is the heavier day. Again, you don't have to max out totally. You can do a 3 or 5 reps, depends on what you're doing. You can change it up. We're gonna go through tons of exercises and tons of different squat movements, variations, and deadlift variations to change it up and have the spice of life. I know for me, I have to change things up just to refresh my mind and have fun. That's the same way in business, right? You have to change it up. You know, you have a little bit more spice in your calls. Go outside and, you know, walk around in the sunlight or do something to just change it up. So we got to change things up as we go to not get so monotonous, because, you know, the discipline of doing the right things every day has to be there, but you have to change it up some way, somehow, to refresh the mind and be, you know, excited. So you should every single day go in and think, what am I excited about today in your business? Something you can get excited about. In that call block, I can get excited about this and not make it monotonous. But remember, it's all got to be no choice. It's all got to be to where you don't have a choice but to do that stuff to make you successful. And so again, I'm loving this because I got no choice but to get stronger and get leaner, because this crew's coming out filming me and I have to do my work. So what has it done to me? Well, my protein intake has been higher here the last few weeks. I'm now in the mindset of, hey, I'm a strength athlete. You get and think not if I'm going to do something, it's I'm doing this. This is who I am. And when you say I am, that follows you in business and life. So think about those things. And when you're thinking about going through and doing something, you have to already be in that moment of you are that person. And success happens the moment you decide to do the things that are going to make you successful. That's when success begins. That's when you are successful. The evidence is just that. It's just the evidence. And so that comes later. The evidence comes later. But you know in your mind, you've already are successful. You're already destined for success. So you just have to keep pounding away. Give yourself no choice but to get there, and you're going to get there. So, you know, go out there, bust your ass in the gym, bust your ass in your sales job, in your marriage, in your just everyday life. Think about the no choices you have and just freaking put everything into it. So let's go through this good morning real quick. This good morning right here is really simple. You're gonna kind of, well, not simple. Shouldn't even say that, honestly, because people will mess it up. This right here, there's different ways you can do a good morning. This one is going to be for the hamstrings. You're going to notice that I'm going to try to keep my chest up as high as possible, even though I'm still bending over, and that's part of it. Keeping your chest as high as possible. Sitting back on my heels as much as possible. Again, I don't have the flat-soled shoes today because this is going to force me again to try to push back on my heels even harder than it normally would. So I'm kind of making the exercise a little more difficult than I normally would. And I know you think, well, that's nothing. Well, it is those little variations. It takes away from how much you can lift and makes the exercise a little more difficult, which is good. Now, if you're max efforting, you're putting huge weights. Sometimes it's like, hey, listen, I don't want to do anything but to have the correct stuff on, but sometimes you need to challenge yourself in different areas. So we're going to go in here. You're going to see me. It's not going to take you're not going to do a ton of weight on this. Even when I was at my strongest, most time I only used, maybe 2 plates and a quarter. You remember this is a 65-pound bar. So earlier I did a 515-pound Squat, which was very easy, fine. But this is 155 per today. I may go, depends on how I kind of feel as I'm going, maybe only 205, 245. You don't need a ton of weight, okay? You're gonna unrack the same way. You're gonna kind of get, chest or your back and your chest up a little bit. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna try to push out on my knees a little bit, like just kind of spread the floor, and I'm gonna sit back. And it's not all the way over. Once you start feeling those hamstrings, you're gonna come up. Like I could feel it, I can promise you. Rep ranges on this, you can go anywhere from 5 to 10. You don't want to let your form break. You just kind of want to feel it. It's more about the feel of what's going on rather than the rep ranges on this. So once you start feeling yourself break down, you're losing tightness, etc., you may want to rack it and go again. So I typically will do, it depends on how hard my squat session was. If I'm really going heavy, my back is really tight and stiff, and I may not be able to go as heavy, may only do a couple sets. And if you're not going as heavy, you may be able to do a little more reps and do a few more sets. I'll put a quarter on here. Again, this is one of these exercises you can make as difficult as you want to. Contract. I can tell you, I talk about it a lot of times in business. This is the same thing. It correlates to the business. So if you take a sprinter, like you take Carl Lewis back in the day, that's dating me, right? But Carl Lewis, you got all those sprinters, right? That I can't even remember all their names. Usain Bolt. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Sorry, you're awesome. If they run and somebody else runs beside them, and he runs, Usain Bolt, of course, smokes them. And you got an untrained athlete that just runs. And they both run as hard as they can in a 100-meter dash. Here's what people don't understand. The untrained athlete that's just in decent shape may get to the end of the finish line and not even seem as worn out as Usain Bolt is. Why is that? Because Usain Bolt knows how to contract his muscles far more than what that untrained athlete is able to. In powerlifting, when you have someone that really knows how to contract their muscles, they can both do a max set of 10, and the powerlifter be more wore out, even though the powerlifter's more in shape, because they're able to contract their muscle. Like on this, I'm able to contract my muscle a little harder. As I get stronger and keep getting better, I'm gonna contract even harder. And those weights that I'm just trying to grind out, it's gonna be harder. Now, how's that correlate to business? It's the same way. Again, you can have somebody do it 8 hours in 8 hours. One person's gonna kind of motor through it a little bit. The other one can contract hard, right? They know how to contract that day into such like minute details that the untrained, undisciplined person doesn't know how to do. And then they just like, well, I did 12 hours, you only did 8. Who did more work? Okay, so it's all in how you train your muscles and your mindset to be better every single day, giving yourself no choices within the day to just hammer stuff out. And when you keep doing that, you're able to contract harder in the gym, and you're able to contract harder in your business to make sure that you can work less hours and you can make more income. That's what I talk about. Listen, there is 10 other loan officers in my same region that combined have done the same amount of volume I do. And they're supposed to be working all full time, right? I'm working this and doing hires coaching and doing the same volume in those 10 loan officers. And this is average 10 loan officers. Why is that? It's not because I'm any better. It's not because I'm any smarter. It's because I'm able to condense my day and make sure that I get packed in as much as possible. And I'm always training to get better in every little detail. And you have to do that in the gym. So every little detail matters. Every little detail matters. And as I get stronger and better again, and I'm into this, I will again remember all the details that I went through when I was powerlifting, and I'll get better. So that's the same way in business. Keep uncovering, keep trying to push the belief systems of what you can accomplish, because I can tell you it's out there. All right, a lot of times I do box jumps. I can't do box jumps in here because I don't have a large enough box. I used to be able to jump over 50, I think a 52-inch box, 53, something like that, weighing about 250. So it's pretty decent at it. Actually, at one point, I actually did dunk a basketball being as my height, but can't do that now. So this is more, I'm gonna try not to be pathetic. I did just do some squats and some more hamstrings, so we'll see how this works out. But listen, so your squat and your deadlift is about speed and just raw, like, you know, strength to where you're having to push through something. But you can never lift a weight slowly. Now, you say, well, a max effort's really slow and you're slow. Yeah, but your muscles are not contracting slowly. Like, if you try to contract it slowly, you're gonna get buried. So speed is power. Talk about it in business, speed of implementation. That's why I tell you to do no choice and have a no choice routine, because when you have those parameters, you can just speed of implementation during the day. You can go from one thing to the next without suffering. So the same way in this, I'm just gonna jump up and get a little bit of, you know, some explosion speed, to work on that speed and that power to really feed into my squat and deadlift. So we'll see how this works out. Hopefully this thing doesn't come off and go shattered. All right, nothing special, just kind of jumping up, trying to get a little bit of air, trying to jump off, get as much explosion as you can. And it's a little hard for me to jump quite as high because I got this ceiling. Normally I want to jump and kind of reach for something. So it's kind of hurting that slight bit, but I'm still getting that same motion. You want to try to jump. Jumping is something that'll really help. What you'll notice is, actually, I remember when I started deadlifting, I wasn't even really jumping. And I went to a basketball court, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I can jump, jump even higher. And then I started jumping for like 3 weeks, and my vertical jump at that point went up like 7-8 inches within like a 3-week period. It was crazy because the strength and my power was there and that speed, and all I had to do was work on kind of a little bit more motor mechanics, and boom, it went straight up. So I had, you know, I could jump straight up at one point, and you know, I could touch right here, which for me to touch the rim takes 33 inches. So I was hitting here just a vertical jump. So you can imagine it's a pretty good jump. Now don't judge me now, I'm 41 years old and haven't jumped in a while. So shut your mouth, okay? Okay, we've got the barbell rows here. This is one of these exercises that you can change it up in a lot of ways. It's a squat. You can squat a lot of different ways and get the job done. Don't let people tell you you can't do things a little differently, and you have to, okay, well, I got a diagram here, and that's not the proper way to do it. I tell you, again, I talk about this all the time in business. Somebody that sucks in business trying to tell you how to do business, or they're doing one thing that's decently well that nobody cares about, and all of a sudden they got all the answers. Listen, okay, listen to people that are going to, that's went before you and crushing it, and listen to them. Listen, this right here is something I've used a ton of to really help the upper back and the spinal erector. So a lot of things what I'm doing with this one is going to be for the squat. They also can carry over to the deadlift, no doubt. In a squat, most of the time people miss by hunching over, by caving in, and it's the spinal erectors and the upper back a lot of times. And obviously it's the core. You got to have strong strong abs there, okay? So boom, boom, get some strong abs. But this is one of these exercises where I'm gonna work the upper back, I'm going to work the spinal erectors, and I'm just gonna kind of drag up my legs, and I'm just bending over slightly. I'm not bending all the way over, but I'm gonna hit more of that upper back. I'm gonna kind of try to stabilize, so I'm just pulling right to here. It's not as big of a motion. Listen, like anything, when it comes to business or in the gym, you have to know why you're doing something. Just don't do stuff because you just want to be different, okay? It's got to have a purpose. Everything has to have a purpose, okay? You can't just say, okay, I got, well, Adam said no choice. Well, I'm just doing this stupid shit that doesn't matter, okay? Listen, you have to make a difference, okay? You have to do something that is going to carry over and have a purpose. I have a purpose of doing this, so here we go. Just gonna kind of carry it out here, and I'm just kind of dragging it up the leg a little bit more. As I get heavier, it's gonna be harder and harder. So a lot of times you're gonna do a barbell row more up. I'm just kind of barely leaning over. I can actually feel this in my hamstrings big time too, especially since I've done hamstrings. And I'm trying to stabilize right there and just kind of pull up, and I'm feeling the upper back big time and spinal erector. So again, don't let anybody tell you it doesn't work and you're doing it and you feel it in the muscles you're supposed to feel it in. If you feel it in the muscles you do it in, it's working, okay? I mean, that's really like, that's called what people try to say bro science. It's bro science. Listen, that's like saying business, like I don't know, bro business science or something, because people are like, whoa, it's not what you're supposed to do, and somebody's out there in business just crushing it. It's like, well, it's obviously working, okay? So you may want to listen. So listen to bro science here, because if you feel it in the areas you're looking for, probably working. Sometimes you need a little chalk. Powerlifting, definitely have to. I'm sweaty like a hog over here, so kind of hard to get a little chalk and on your hands, get you a little better grip. These just twist on you, so get a good lock in here. Definitely was slipping on the last one. Yeah, so I can feel it in my hamstrings a lot. I'm just kind of leaning over, and I'm feeling the back, spinal erectors, hamstrings, so I'm leaning back. It has a purpose. Remember, everything has a purpose. I keep saying that. It's all in what purposeful driven life you have in a business and in a gym. Have a purpose, give yourself no choice, and then everything else is just gonna explode. Feel the burn. Okay, just took you through our first edition of squat and deadlift. Just the power movements to get your strength up on those two lifts. So this day, Monday, is typically the day that I will do something that is max effort squat, or that's gonna correlate into squat and deadlift power. Today it wasn't a max effort, it was just a single, pretty easy. I'm gonna work up, like I said, because I've not really pushed my squat or deadlift for quite some time, and I wanna ease back into it, try to, just ramp up as we go. So it's kind of like this brick right here. Gotta lay that foundation. So squats, the compound movements are where it's at. So even if you say, hey, I'm not competing and I want it for squat and deadlift, it's still, you can really program this in, because having a big squat and deadlift or having strength in those areas can help you in so many other ways. If you're playing a sport, it absolutely correlates. I've never met someone that has a big squat, a big deadlift, that is not strong as all get out. Like you can't fake it. Like there's too much body, parts in that equation. You have to have a strong core. You have to have a strong lower back. You have a strong upper back. I mean, strong legs, strong hips, strong butt. I mean, it's all, if you have a strong squat or deadlift, like there's no faking it. So, and even if you say, hey, I don't need to be super strong, those are still compound movements to just try to move those weights up and get stronger in those areas that can really add the, like I said, the dense muscle that can really help you lose weight over time and put you in the shape that you want to. If you're just trying to, you know, look good in a bathing suit, if you're a woman, whatever, you can absolutely use this program. It's all a lot in your diet, but this is some great exercise. So listen, you have to, again, I'll keep repeating it, no choice. You have to put yourself in those choice situations and say, hey, listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I love this project because, again, I'm just giving myself no choice but to get stronger, leaner, and all that for you all to inspire, hopefully inspire you out there. My business has been going, man, it's been going great. And I keep getting, keep going up in income. Things are going great. My physical health has been good, but I'm like, hey, listen, I want my business to explode. So I also need to make sure that my body is in the best condition it could be, and I can make more calls. I can be more inspirational to my coaching, the people I'm coaching, my staff, have energy, all that. This all ties in. So don't think that, hey, listen, I don't have time for it. Like, it will condense your time that you put into your work if you're going out there and trying to make more money, because you can do more in less time. So I was just asked a question by the staff here. Hey, listen, how do you lean up, at some point? Well, it's all in your diet. So guys, it's all in your diet. When you're lifting, you got to lift, you got to work out, you got to drink plenty of water. You got to just eat the right foods, balanced. And listen, that doesn't mean you can't smoke a cigar like I do. I enjoy a great cigar, which is not cigarettes. Don't smoke cigarettes, knock it off. You can eat some bad foods. You can have a cheat day. Listen, it's kind of like drinking. Don't drink alone. Don't drink alone. Don't eat bad foods alone. So if you're gonna eat a cheat meal, wait until you got people that are around that you're gonna be able to enjoy it with. So everything is in moderation. Go out there, crush your days, and you can still enjoy life. So it's not about taking away from your life. It's about, investing in your life. So listen, can't wait to continue this journey. Remember, what are you gonna do today to give yourself no choice but to be successful, to build a legacy? What does a legacy mean? Legacy means that, everybody can look at you, your family members can look at you. When you pass away at your funeral, you have a legacy to pass on to your children, to people that you love. Your growth in the gym, your growth in how you are able to make more money, and the impact you're gonna have on people's lives. Listen, how are you gonna put yourself in no choice situations to exponentially push into all three of those areas? Remember, limited risk equals limited income and no choice.